Once a cop, let it knock, yeah. I for one thing we should celebrate redemption instead of condemning it.
Welcome to Corey's Corner. Did you hear about the scandal in LAPD where numerous officers, including supervisors, was caught on video discriminating against recruits? Take a look at this news report.
Morning after a complaint was filed accusing officers of making racist and other derogatory comments about their colleagues. The alleged remarks secretly recorded. KTLA's Annie Rose Ramos live in our newsroom with the details. Annie Rose, good morning.
Hey, Frank. Good morning to you. Yeah, all of this according to an explosive LA Times investigation reporting a Los Angeles police officer working in the department's recruitment office recorded dozens and dozens of conversations for the better part of a year. These recordings revealing cops spewing racist, sexist, and homophobic comments. Now, all of this according to a complaint filed with the LAPD and reviewed by the LA Times, detailing roughly 90 recordings made inside the recruiting division, portraying officers and supervisors voicing open discrimination against potential recruits and colleagues based on race, sex, and sexual orientation. These are the same officers tasked with deciding who can join the LAPD. Now, in one conversation, take a look at this. A Latina LAPD officer offered this advice on how to fight African Americans, saying, quote, "You hit black people in the liver. I heard they got weak livers," according to the complaint filed January 5th with the LAPD's Professional Standards Bureau and the Inspector General's office. The same officer allegedly describing a Latina janitor to her colleagues as, quote, wetback. But the complaint is accusing a Sergeant Denny Jong, of leading the prejudicial banter. In one conversation with subordinates about Dodger baseball legend Fernando Valenzuela's death from septic shock, saying, quote, "I know why he died. He ate too many tacos." The complaint also claiming officers reportedly referred to black people as monkeys. The complaining officer, a Latino with 10 years on the job, initially made his written accusations anonymously, but now is handing over dozens of hours of recordings that took place between March and October of last year. When news of this complaint broke, Chief Jim McDonnell at the LAPD removed a lieutenant, a sergeant, and 4 officers from the unit, saying he was deeply disappointed by these reports. Now, a scandal in the LAPD's recruiting office couldn't come at a worse time. The LAPD is struggling to recruit new officers, with more than 100 cops expected to leave the force by next year, dropping the department to the lowest amount of officers it's seen in roughly 30 years. We at KTLA have reached out to the LAPD and the mayor's office about this case. We're waiting to hear back from both.
Pretty wild, right? If you know anything about LAPD, they've been having scandals for decades. Even we just could go as far back as the Rodney King case, where Rodney King was brutally beat down in the street by numerous officers. Oh, by the way, all of those officers were found not guilty. They got the crash unit, where they was robbing drug dealers, accused of even shooting, all kind of crazy things. Most recently, they had another scandal of corruption in the LAPD. They've been dealing with corruption for a very long time. But this here actually brings to the forefront of what's really wrong with policing. There's a tremendous amount of racism in policing. And this is what's crazy about this scandal here. It seems as if the people that was in the recruitment section that's doing the racism, Hispanic. I believe they're of Mexican descent. And they're the ones who's actually discriminating against Hispanics and discriminating against black candidates. And supposedly they're saying derogatory remarks about gays and lesbians. So LAPD, they've been under federal decree numerous times. They're having a problem with retention. They're having a problem with recruitment. And we wonder why they're having a problem with recruitment. It is what it is. And, you know, I speak around the country, just locking in right to New York City. There's a tremendous amount of young black and brown kids that don't want to go into the profession because they don't like the police and they don't like the racist tone when they're being pulled over and stuff. I cannot tell them anything different. And it's really sad because you look over my shoulder, Yeah, a couple of decades. I had a tremendous career. It was very rewarding. Can't even get my oldest sons to be a cop. My daughter is a sergeant, but my sons, they don't want nothing to do with the police because they believe that it's a tremendous amount of racism in policing. That's crazy, but that's the reality. So here we go. And if you think that's happening at LAPD and it's not happening nowhere else, you're fooling yourself. Let me know your thoughts on this. I'm Corey Pegues. I always keep it right now, real. Peace.